Okay, so I think it's working now, finally. So hello everyone, thank you for joining us, and we are so happy to talk to you about TMET, the Training Medical Education Workshop today, and our main subject will be how to organize TMET in your NMO. So the parts of our webinar today are: what is a TMET? We're going to start by a brief history, to talk about the main subjects that are discussed, our international vision for TMET, and then why do you need TMET in your NMO? How can you host a TMET in your NMO, the procedure to follow? What do you need to send in your application? And finally, how to make TMET a success. And after this, we're going to send you a follow-up email with the main documents that you need. So starting by what is a TMET? Actually, the first TMET was created in August meeting Taiwan 2014. And it was mainly to empower the medical education activists, as you, the SCOMI active member, in order to give them tools to advocate and to work in their NMOs. And so far, we had 15 TMETs in all the regions almost. And we have over 200 TMET trainers. The main subjects that are discussed in the TMET are the basic training skills that you'll need to become a trainer, education, teaching and learning theories and methods, evaluation and assessment. We also talk about curriculum planning, development and implementation, about student involvement and advocacy. And it depends then on the TMET, whether it's an international TMET or it means in the pre-general assemblies and general assemblies, or in sub-regional trainers where we can talk about subjects relevant to the NMO or that region. We also talk about research in medical education. And for example, this year we are going to tackle social accountability and accreditation, as there is IFMSA involved in the World Summit on Social Accountability, and many other medical education topics. Where do we see TMET going in the future? That's a question we hear a lot. Actually, when we talk about TMET, the first thing that pops into our minds is continuous capacity building in all the regions to ensure the right amount trainings for members, to recruit them and empower them. And in the future, we're going to work on quality assurance for TMET. As many of you have seen, we've opened the call for the TMET small working group, for the TMET manual small working group. And within that manual, we're going to work on the guidelines for organizing a high quality training. And we're also going to work more on the follow-up with the evaluation of each TMET that's been done there, the certification process, and also we are going to work on the analysis of the database. Moving to the second part, which is why do you need TMET in your NMO? We've split it into two parts, which is the capacity building for active members and the recruitment of future potentials. How are we working on the capacity building for active members? Is through empowering them first to want to learn more about medical education, and also to improve their skill level in medical education topics. As you may know, we don't have lessons about medical education as a topic, so it's more for the teachers and for the deans, etc. And we are also using technical and communication skills to empower the active members, to capacitate them to forward what they learned. And also we are doing TMET to recruit future potentials, because we are working on the future of SCOMI in our NMOs and in our local committees. So if we are recruiting people who are starting in SCOMI knowing about medical education and knowing before about what they're working at, what they will be working on. Also, the people who assume their mentoring role, who know that they will pass their knowledge to the future generation. Therefore, we can assure the sustainability of the committee. And finally, we want to recall that many people who did TMET trainings are taking leadership positions in their NMO and in IFMSA. For example, most of the members of the SCOMI IT are TMET trainers. Now, let's talk about the part that we are starting. We aim to talk about today is how can you host a TMET in your NMO? A TMET is an IFMSA certified training, which means it needs, first of all, to apply. First of all, you need to apply for sub-regional training in your NMO if you are going to do that. So, how to apply for sub-regional training? We are going to share with you later on Facebook and on mail the SRT guidelines, the sub-regional training guidelines, and we try to sum up the most important steps that you need to do, which are, first of all, you need to contact the SCOMI director in this case because it's a medical education trainer for relevant information. For example, you can send an email to me, scomid@ifmsa.org, and you can tell me, for example, hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm the nominee of, I don't know, and I want to apply for TMET in my NMO, and how will I do that, or how can I do that? And then I can help you with all the information. You have to send an application form filled out and stamped by your NMO president, a budget, and a final proposal to the vice president for capacity building at maximum 1 month before your activity. For example, if you're having TMET in the 8th of February, you have to send an application form filled out and stamped by your NMO president, a budget, and a final proposal to VPCB, Vice President for Capacity Building at ifmsa.org, the 8th of January. This is the example. And also, another important thing that is your sub-regional training, which is TMET in this case, has to have a minimum of 3 days. You can't have a workshop less than 3 days to be acknowledged as sub-regional training. Then we have the TMET regulation. If you are going to host a TMET, which is international and which is certified by IFMSA, you have to follow up the TMET regulation. And by doing that, you will send the proposal to the SCOMI director. You can also CC the development assistant and the medical education systems program coordinator, because TMET is an activity under the medical education system program. Also, no more than 1 month before the event. So you'll send the budget and the application form for the vice president for capacity building, and you will send the proposal of TMET to the SCOMI director with a preliminary agenda and a participation form sheet, the participation form that you will send out to the trainees. I've been talking about the TMET proposal now, so I want to tell you exactly what do you need to have in your application. So in the TMET proposal, you will start by stating the activity name, which is Training Medical Education Trainers Workshop, TMET, and the city and the country there is. For example, TMET Madrid, IFMSA Spain is just an example. By an introduction, why are you applying for TMET? How is this important for you in your NMO, etc. Then you can state the acronyms and abbreviation used in the documents, if you're using any abbreviation. The purpose of this TMET, for example, you're doing this TMET to recruit more active members, or you have many active members in SCOMI that are not well trained and you need to train them in order to have a better quality activities. Your target groups, the people that you are targeting, mainly medical students, but if your NMO works in a broader field more than medical students, you can tell us. A general description of the workshop, where will it be, how will it be, etc. Objectives and success indicators. For example, for each objective, you can tell us the tool that you're going to use and how are you going to measure them, the indicators, the activity plan, how are you planning to have this TMET. For example, you're having a TMET for 4 days, you're going to tell us the first day we're going to do this and this, the second day. It's not the agenda, it's what you're going to do in the workshop. For example, you're going to tell us in this day we will have a free afternoon that we are going to take the trainees in a field trip, etc. The evaluation plan, how are you planning to evaluate your workshop, the resources that you're going to use if you're going to go for funds or if your school is paying for TMET or something like that, the budget, which you already sent to the VP capacity building, and finally the coordinators, the people who are proposing this TMET, and their contact details. So let's repeat them again. The activity name, introduction, acronyms, purpose, target groups, general description, objectives and success indicators, activity plan, evaluation plan, resources, budget, and the contact details of the coordinators. Don't be afraid, we're going to share all of this with you later. And where can I get my references from? If you want, when you will contact us to have your TMET, we can share with you previous TMET proposals from the pre-regional meetings and pre-general assemblies that you can take your example from, and you can work on that so you don't start from scratch. So this year we're going to do something in order to help all the SCOMI active members in their process of hosting a TMET. After this webinar, we're going to send a survey among NMOs. It's a small form that you can fill out if you want to have TMET in your NMO. For example, you will have your name, your position in your NMO, your position. If you want to have a TMET, when do you want to have that TMET? And then we are going to assign for each one of you an IT contact person, a person from the international team to help you from all the procedure, from the planning, preparing the proposal, selection of the trainers, and finally the follow-up. So expect this survey soon. And finally, moving to how to make TMET a success. It's by starting to recruit trainers, then participants, the logistics. It's mainly the organization of TMET. So how to recruit trainers? In order to have many options, you have to send out the call early, at least 2 months before the event. If you're planning to do that, you can do it even before having your proposal accepted, and even you can send the name of the trainers in the proposal. And if you really want a good quality TMET, you have to give a preparation period of the trainers of 1 month at least, so they can get their references, they can adapt their topics to the needs of your NMO, etc. And explain clearly to them how can they apply. In the mail you can send your TMET proposal, and you can tell them in order to apply you have to send a letter of motivation, your CV, etc., etc. And finally, the criteria to accept trainer. We highly recommend the balance between experienced and new trainers, and between TNT trainers and TMET trainers, because TNT trainers are more experienced in the soft skills and facilitation sessions. And also, in the SCOMI regulations, in order for your TMET to be accepted and certified by IFMSA, you have at least to have 1 certified TMET trainer, and you can have 1 TNT trainer with it. But you can, for example, have 2 TNT trainers, even if they have a large experience in medical education. They have to be a certified IFMSA trainer. Now, how to recruit participants? We encourage you to have promotion materials. For example, you can work on a graphic short for your TMET, a poster, some Facebook picture, some teasing, an event, and to publish them regularly on the SCOMI server, the IFMSA First Facebook IFMSA SCOMI Facebook server, and other servers like either regional one. You can include small and easy to read infographics and awesome pictures of the venue of the OC. You can also create videos with your trainers to encourage people to apply. Also, we highly recommend you to have an OC that you monitor closely. Um, and you can choose between 2 to 4 trainers with good experience, and maybe trainers that people already know and love. If you have TMET trainers for your in your NMO, and you know that your active member love them and they will be there if they are the trainers. Be specific and clear also about the criteria of people that you want to have as participants. Send the call early for participant, and spam. Continuity and spamming is the key. Send reminders. Ask your lomies to share the call. Ask them to talk with the members in their local committees. Also, your TMET is international, so you can have people participating in your TMET from other countries. So you can contact the NMOs to forward the call to their nomies and social media. Your NMO president can send an email on the NMO server and ask presidents to share the call with their active members. You can also publish pictures or videos of previous successful TMETs. You can find them on the IFMSA page, on the IFMSA YouTube channel, or you can ask previous nomies to share it with you. Or also you can ask us. We have some videos and some pictures. And finally, I'm repeating it again, spam the mailing list, spam the Facebook group, let everyone hear that you have TMET in your NMO. Now, moving to a more logistical part, which is the fundraising, the accommodation, and the room. So try to have financial aid for your trainers in order to encourage them in their work and to come. And if you are going to do so, specify it in the call, because many people maybe cannot apply for financial reason, and it will help them if you, for example, can pay for their accommodation and their flight, or their accommodation and half their flight. It depends with the funding you have. Try to choose a serene venue with beautiful surroundings to attract people and to make it a cozy and a more comfortable atmosphere for the trainees. For now, moving for the timetable, as we said, you have at least to have 3 days. So you can have 3 to 4 days, and preferably less than a week, because a week is too much spending in trainings. And you have to have like 24 hours at least in general in your training, and try to have less than 10 hours a day. And moving back to the logistics, try to have keep the fees as low as possible, because people may be discouraged by very expensive trainings. Finally, make sure you create a simple and easy to read booklet or invitation package that to answer all the questions of the active members. So, to sum up again, how to make your TMET logistically a success. You have to recruit the trainers, send the call 2 months before, and give them at least 1 month to work on their trainings. You have to balance between experienced and new trainers. Recruit participants by promoting your TMET everywhere and spamming them. And work on the logistic by having an OC. We suggest, for example, for my personal experience, when I had a TMET, I tried to have a marketing member, an accommodation member, a visa coordinator, since it was an international one, and finally the head of the OC. And everything was really organized, and we tried to monitor everything closely. And don't forget, you will always have the IT member with you to help you with anything you need, from academic support to logistical support. Finally, is how to follow up after your TMET. We're going to talk about what you can expect from your TMET trainers after their trainings. How can you guide them towards activities that can help them put their knowledge to use? And finally, how can a fresh TMET trainer become a certified trainer? So, what can you expect from your TMET trainers after they become training? You can I'm sorry, I'm really tired. You can expect them to be able to play an active role in education processes, whether in their school or outside of their school, make informed decisions as partners in the educational process. For example, they can take leadership positions in their school boards, and they can have an active role, and they can be meaningfully involved in their boards, represent their organization towards faculty and national organizations, also the same, and finally pass on their knowledge as trainers in medical education to their fellow students by taking part in training workshops on local, national, or international levels. How can you guide your new TMET trainers toward activities that can help them put their knowledge to use? So, as we said before, after the TMET, your main outcome would be motivated members that believe in themselves and are ready to occupy the empty field and start new projects, because they all learned how to be leaders, one in his own way. First of all, you have to attract them toward the fields that need to be improved. For example, the evaluation systems in their school, the selection systems if they do not agree on the selection criteria and how can you join medical school, the curriculum, which is a large field, the teaching methods, or the research. The question that comes after is, what is the input of a TMET trainer in all of that? How can we, medical students, work in all of that? As mentioned before, the TMET trainers are meant to be leaders who will start finding a way to approach these fields and work on them. They will afterward drag second followers and third followers, etc. The TMET trainers has a clear image of medical education in their university and among the students, and has a clear vision of what needs to be done, since most of our activity among the TMET workshops are based on comparison between reality and what needs to be done. So, for example, you have 2 TMET trainers in your local committees. They will attract other members, they will empower them in this certain field, and they will help them work on a certain topic by, first of all, comparing the reality to what needs to be done, and then setting a strategy to do it. Then our next question is, how does a TMET trainer approach the university, which is a very large topic? So we will give you like a simple answer, and then you can elaborate on it with your members by simply using his advocacy skills. All universities have committees of a certain kind of structure that define the medical student path and shape his curriculum. Some have scientific boards, some have like the dean and vice dean, etc. Some other schools have boards with the students in them. All of these committees have normally a seat reserved for students, which is not always the case. Then our main objective will be to have that seat belonging to our TMET trainers. So who will know better about medical education than the SCOMI members? So they have to approach this committee, talk to their heads, give them an insight of what we do in SCOMI and our strategic plan, our goals and missions. They can even start their own projects, make them grow, and then having a partnership with the faculty. They can prepare a partnership file, give it to the head of the committee, and advocate to integrate students in that by telling them about TMET, by showing them what we learned in TMET, and by proving to them that we are qualified enough to join this committee. Also, they can enroll for programs with their activities to give them an international aspects that would help broaden this impact. For example, if you have an activity which is enrolled under an IFMSA program, and you can have a support letter from IFMSA to help you advocate for your activity. This will help you a lot. They can also showcase their work during National General Assembly and International General Assemblies and in external representations such as, for example, the AME conference, where each year we have many TMET trainers participating in it. A TMET trainer, therefore, is never lost. He won't be needing guidance, he would only need a push in order for him to have the courage to approach the major stakeholder of curriculum. Then the start will be a continuous, then after the start, it will be a continuous work. And finally, what are the basics of work for TMET trainer? Always be confident and motivated. So try to include motivation sessions, leadership sessions, personal development sessions in your TMET. Always have a good advocacy strategy in your TMETs. Integrate advocacy sessions and try to make them oriented for the problems you have the most in your NMO. Assessment and evaluation are the main keys to success. Assess your current situation, analyze it, and then prepare a strategy. And finally, use concrete data coming from surveys, research, and statistics to start your work. Our last point in this webinar will be, how can a fresh TMET trainer become a certified trainer? First of all, after you finish your TMET training, you should submit the evaluation form you use for evaluating your trainees. The TMET trainees will have to deliver trainings, their first trainings to graduate. It has to be trainings in medical education fields. They cannot, for example, deliver soft skills trainings to graduate. And the coordinators or the trainers that deliver TMET have to evaluate this training and submit the evaluation form to the international team. And also, there's a deadline to deliver your first session, which is 6 months after the TMET have taken place. And finally, the TMET workshop facilitator, aka the trainers, should send a full report of the participation at most 1.5 months after the trainings. So 3 easy steps to have your certificates. First, the TMET trainees that became trainers have to deliver their first training in medical education. The TMET facilitator has to submit a full report and analysis of the TMET 1.5 months at most after the TMET. And finally, the session needs to be delivered within 6 months after the TMET. 3 easy steps. So mainly that's the major thing that we wanted to talk about. Actually kind of not really good in technology. I don't know whether you can ask questions or not here. I think you can. I will check YouTube just a second. I'm sorry. I think you can comment on the YouTube video. So if you have any question, if you can comment on the YouTube video, you can comment on them, or you can, I think it will be easier to comment on the Facebook page of SCOMI, on the publication where I shared the link with you. You can, okay, if you can do it through YouTube, then the chat where. So I'm waiting for your questions. All the SCOMI international team is here. If you have questions for the regional assistant, you can ask them. They're not here with me. They're anyway. Chat box. Ah, there's okay. I found it. Yep. Okay. You'd like to know what is this? I'm sorry, Marwan, I didn't get your question. You'd like to know if the agenda of the TMET will be the same regardless of the duration. No, actually, it's more flexible. The agenda depends on the number of the days. For example, if you have 4 days for your TMET, you will discuss the main topics that have to be there in the TMET in order to be certified. If you have an agenda of 5 days, for example, you can add a whole day on advocacy, or you can add more topics such as if you have fundraising problems in your NMO or recruitment problems in your NMO, you can add them. Also, if you have, for example, if you want to focus on social accountability, you can have a full day on that. So it's more flexible. If you have more days for TMET, you can add more topics. I don't know if this answers your question. And yes, you can have the last TMET manual. It's not more of a manual, it's TMET regulations. And I will share it with you as soon as we finish the webinars and the minutes of this webinar. Any other questions? What is the maximum participants we shall have? This is a really good question. In our recommendation, it is good to have between 15 and 25 participants. I think between 20 and 25 is the maximum, because it's also an empowerment workshop and the trainers want to get closer to their trainees, and it will make it easier for them to work. So it's more of 20, between 20 and 25 is the maximum. So Maria's question is, she wants to ask if all the process is the same, or in general, if it's possible to hold the TMET in the other language than considering it's the official IFMSA language. Actually, you can also find this in the TMET regulations. In order for TMET to be certified, the main sessions need to be delivered. So your trainings need to be done in English. But if you want, for example, to explain something to your members, you can like have the training in English, and then maybe follow up on some of their questions in your own language to facilitate it for them. But no, generally you cannot hold the TMET in other language than English, because it's an international training, international workshop, and many people, even people from other countries, can apply for it. The next question is it necessary for an applicant to be a certified trainer to apply for the small working group on TMET manual? No, you can be an active member in SCOMI. Anyone can apply, even if you're not certified TMET trainer. We highly recommend that you have experience in medical education or in delivering trainings, or both, but all the application will be considered equally. Uh, After that, uh, I don't know, Maria, if you understood me, but if you have, for example, if your country speaks French, for example, and you found three good TMET trainers who are French speaking, you still have to do the TMET in English, but it's not formal. But if someone has a question and didn't get that point, they can explain it to it in their language. But the TMET training, the trainings that you will share with us later in the report, need to be done in English, because it's an international training, even if all of the people participating in the workshop are from your country. How many TMET certified trainers are required for a TMET, and can those trainers be from another NMO? Is required for your TMET to be certified, but as we said, you can have from 2 to 4. So you can have one certified TMET trainer and it's not a problem, but you need to have one at least. And yes, you can have trainers from other NMOs, of course. The next question is it possible for TMET trainers to deliver a training in different country than theirs if the country that wants to host a TMET doesn't have enough TMET trainers or they are not available? Yes, of course. If you're not from that country, you can go because you're an international trainer, so you can deliver TMET everywhere in the world. And not all the countries have TMET trainers, so practically we will need TMET trainers to be moving around the world. Where can you get the last manual? I will send it on the SCUMMY server tomorrow night at most, maximum, along with the minutes of this webinar and the SRT regulation. No, thank you. Okay, we're having two last questions. Anyone? As I said before, there is Diana from Colombia who are very interested to have a TMET. As I said before, also tomorrow or after tomorrow, just right after this webinar, we are going to send the Google form survey where we will ask you whether you are interested to have TMET in the NMO. And then you can say, for example, we are interested in having TMET in Colombia from, I don't know, from the 10th of January to the 14th of January. And then we will assign someone from there to follow up with you the whole process and to guide you through it. I think, yes, this video will stay up after we finish, so you can rewatch it again. And for the NOMI of SCUMMY Kurdistan, yes, the TMET can be only it's not restricted for members from that NMO, but you and the trainers will be the one to select participants. So you can select people from your NMO only. For example, if you want to have more spots for your NMO. In the call, you can say we will have 20 spots and 5 spots for international people, or you can only say the spots will be only from the members from the NMO. One last question. Thank you. Okay, there's another question. Can any other members know what are the updated topics that TMET give, so we know what we want in TMET and if we want to hold it? Hmm, I'm sorry, I didn't get your question, Obeda. Can any other members know? More your questions. Sorry, I didn't get it. The materials that are given during TMET, before the training you meet, for example, when you send the call for participants, you can state, you mean you can state or not the topics that you're going to discuss on the agenda? Or after the TMET is delivered and then people... No, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to try to answer you, and then if it's not the right answer, you can ask me again. So if you're talking before the TMET training, yes, when, as we said, you can create a booklet or an invitation package that you can share the main topics that you're going to discuss in your TMET, and then the members will know whether they are interested or not in these topics, and then they can apply. Yes, before the TMET. In your invitation package, when you promote your TMET, you can share with your members the main topics that you will discuss. For example, you can say, in this TMET, we will focus on advocacy, we will focus on student representation and meaningful student involvement, and then the people will know whether they are interested or not. I don't know if this answers your question. And after the TMET, we will share all the materials from all the TMET workshops in the TMET folder, in the SCOMI folder. And if you're planning to have a TMET, you can check the other TMETs, and maybe they can inspire you. It's only following up on your question, and maybe they can inspire you to for new topics. So yes, you can join METs because they are IFMSA TMETs held in that in their NMO. So no matter where you're from, you can join that TMET. As I said in the webinar, it's a sub-regional training. It's an IFMSA sub-regional training, so all the IFMSA members can join it. I think we don't have questions anymore. So how much for your time. Thank you for all of you who are here. And as we said, and send you follow-up email with all the documents you need. I think the video will be here on YouTube, and you can rewatch it again. You can send all the questions you have to SCOMED, OMED@ifmsa.org, and we will be always there to answer you. We will send a survey, so don't forget to fill the survey if you're planning to have a TMET in your NMO. It's not a condition, but it will help us to help you in the preparation of your TMET. Also, you can contact your relevant regional assistant for any information. For example, you can ask him whether someone from a country is also in a TMET, and then you can both have the same TMET since closed. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry for the technical issues. It won't be repeated again. So have a good Sunday, and goodbye, everyone.